Okay, so it's back to glass grinding again, and you can see some glasses here I've been working on. They're not quite there yet. You can see the shiny bits that need to be further sanded down. I have been using the drill to do that. As you can see there with the drill bit on the end there. That's not been too effective for me because it keeps sliding around, and I think it's even made this worse in some cases. So I've gone back to the manual way of doing it with sandpaper, cutting it in half and then sanding down. So starting off with 100 grit, 150 grit to sand down the rough edges, and then I've decided, after I've had a coffee break, come back to 120 grit and sand down all four of these. I mean, I don't work on one glass at a time, I work on several at a time. I find it a bit more economical that way on paper. It works for me. I mean, I've bounced back a couple of times in the upper grits, but where the drill has kind of come in handy is I've been able to sand down the outer edges more effectively. So that's what we're doing. I've been working outside this time. The reason why I've got the flask of water there and the bottle of water, so I can rinse my hands off, and I'm rinsing it off into a bucket down there, and that in turn will be filtered off to get rid of glass fragments, and I'll also pour the rest down the drain because I don't really want my Labrador dog drinking out of the water. PPE is very important. I'm using this high-end mask. This is probably overkill for many people that do this, but I'd rather overdo it and be safe. I'd always wipe these down typically with a Dettol or with the Dettol spray and some towel. And these are the goggles I use. Again, people would argue this is overkill, but I'd rather over protect than under protect. And for gloves, I'm just wearing a pair of marigolds. So this is a lot of where I am. I'm going to come out in a bit later on today and sand the rest of these down, and then gonna have got some engraving after. In terms of what bottles they are, well, obviously the back one is Styropramen. The other one here, that's a bottle of wine that's emptied. The one at the back there, the little small brown one, I think that's self-explanatory. And then this one here was a bottle of sparkling water I bought from the co-op last week because I liked the bottle, and I'm quite right because I like the big thick rim on that, and that's, I think, is important, the big thick rims. These make the best tumblers. The thinner ones I'm not really so certain about. They're very fragile at the end of the day. I mean, the Styropramen one certainly is. I was disappointed to see the first one being thrown and breaking so easily. Just a slight knock in it, and that was its loss, and I had to throw it in the bin. But yeah, that's where we are. So what will I use these for then? Well, that's probably going to be a tumbler, the big thick one there. The one at the back, I'm going to use that to put iPad repair tools in. The other one's the tall grey one. I might use that as a small vase, I don't know. Depends on how they finish. And if I can get them finished off properly. You see there's still some shiny edges on that, but not that many of them. So once I've had my quick break, so I've been out there for a while, I'm going to come back and sand it down there with the 120 grit sandpaper, and then I'm going to start polishing it. So from 400 grit, then I think I've got 600, 400, 600, 800, and then 1000 should finish these off to a fine polish. But these are coming along quite nicely. So yeah, once I have had a quick cuppa, because I've been out here for quite some time, I'll then finish these off. Thought it best to work outside, just better for ventilation purposes. And I'll let you know how it goes. And I will record a couple of these of me actually doing some bottles end to end. It's just that I'm still learning here, and I'd rather record successes than failures. So that is all for me for the moment. And tomorrow I've got some sanding pads coming with diamond embedded sandpaper on blocks, and these apparently are a lot better. We'll see. But in the meantime, that's what I've got, and that's all from the Autistic Dad today. Thank you.